Have you ever stopped to think how one unguarded chuckle can shatter a whole existence? I learned that truth the hardest way imaginable. Good afternoon, my sweet friends. I'm Elaine Thompson Miller, 78 years young, and today I'm opening a chapter I've carried close to my chest for decades. Before I go on, would you do me a kindness? Tap that like button for a little encouragement. If you haven't joined the channel yet, come on in. The water's warm, and I'd hate for you to miss the next tale. Drop a note in the comments too. Tell me where you're tuning in from. I'm always wondering who's listening on the other end. I came into this world in 1947, in a little dot on the map called Riverdale, where your business was everybody's business, in the nicest possible way. Folks there were plain, sturdy, and proud of it. Daddy ran the corner store right off the square, and Mama raised 6 of us kids while keeping the home fires burning. I was second in line. Money was tight, but our days were rich in other ways. Daddy used to say, "Integrity won't buy groceries, but it'll let you rest easy." That motto stitched itself into my bones. I was 17 when Frank blew into town like a city breeze. He'd taken a job at the new paper mill, and Lord, he stood out. Crisp speech, city polish, eyes that locked on you like they already knew your secrets. He'd stroll into the store for smokes, tip his hat, and murmur, "Morning, miss," with a grin wide enough to stop traffic. My pulse would answer before my mouth could. Back then, a decent girl didn't chat up a fellow without a chaperone, so our romance unfolded in stolen glances across the counter. My big brother Ted broke the ice, striking up a friendship with Frank first. Only after a respectable stretch did Mama allow Sunday porch visits. Me in my best dress, Frank in his pressed shirt. Mama suing, 3 feet away while her ears did the real work. 2 years of that sweet torture, and then came the proposal. He showed up slicked with Brill cream, clutching a fistful of daisies, cheapest blooms in the bin, but my absolute favorite. Daddy pretended to grill him, but his eyes gave away the softness. Frank had steady work, he could lift me out of hand, meet downs. We tied the knot in '66. Simple service at the chapel, reception under string lights in my parents' yard. Mrs. Jenkins stitched my gown from leftover satin. Nothing fancy, but I felt like royalty gliding down the aisle on Daddy's arm. Frank waiting with that same heart, stopping smile. Our first home was a shoebox. 2 rooms, a poppily stove, and an outhouse we swore we'd upgrade someday. I scrubbed it spotless, hung Mama's gift curtains, planted zinnias out front. It was humble, but it was ours. Mornings Frank left before dawn, evenings he came home dusty and grinning. I packed his lunch in a dented tin pail, and at dusk we'd perch on the step with the neighbors, swapping stories while fireflies blinked on. He'd surprise me with penny candy or a ribbon, little nothings that felt like treasure. Tony arrived in '68, a home birth that nearly unraveled us both. Frank wore a trench in the floorboards, chain smoking till the midwife finally announced a healthy boy. He stumbled in, eyes red, stared at the squalling bundle in my arms, and whispered, "Elaine, look at him. Perfect." Just like that, we were 3. Frank took to fatherhood like he was born for it. He'd scoop Tony the second he walked through the door, tickle giggles out of him, toss a ball on weekends. Life felt stitched together with strong thread. Then, around '72, when Tony was 4, the seams started loosening. Frank lingered at the mill, claiming overtime. He'd drift in smelling faintly of whiskey, not drunk, just enough to notice. Just a quick one with the crew, he'd shrug. A promotion followed. Suddenly he was rubbing elbows with the office crowd. New shirts, polished shoes, a need to look the part. I was proud. New furniture meant a real bed, a humming fridge, homemade popsicles in July. But pride curdled into distance. He'd eat in silence, retreat to the couch claiming snoring kept me awake. At first occasional, then routine. The bed felt cavernous. I'd reach for conversation, he'd cite exhaustion, early shifts, backages. Other clues crept in. Longer showers, a splash of aftershave he'd never bothered with. Laundry carried a floral ghost that wasn't mill dust or bar smoke. When I asked, his temper flared. First time ever. Office ladies spritz that stuff, Elaine. You're seeing shadows. Door slam, gone till midnight. I watched closer. Notes that made him grin, then vanish into pockets. Messages delivered by a buddy from work. Sunday dinners with my folks. Suddenly impossible. Tony's pleas. Daddy, play catch. Met weary brush-offs. The boy's face would crumple, and I'd swallow my own hurt to invent pirate adventures at bedtime. Then the second baby quickened inside me. I waited for the same wonder in Frank's eyes. Instead, panic flickered, then a wooden smile. Another mouth to feed, he said, like I'd handed him an invoice. Nights, I cried into my pillow while he claimed the couch for my rest. My belly swelled. The gap between us widened. He never laid a palm to feel the kicks, never asked after the doctor. Sundays, he'd vanish, to help a friend, returning after dark. I told myself it was the strain of another child, extra bills. I almost believed it. Here I am, decades later, chest still tightening at the memory. But the real fracture came on a sweltering January night in '73. 7 months along, heat thick as sorghum, no whisper of breeze. Sleep was a lost cause with a belly like a prize pumpkin. Frank rolled in late, picked at supper, ignored Tony's crayon masterpiece. Couch tonight, he muttered. Already walking away, I settled alone, hand soothing the restless kicker inside. Hush now, little one, I breathed. Somehow I drifted off, only to jolt awake, parched at 20:30 am. Moving felt like hauling furniture, but thirst won. I eased my swollen frame from the mattress. Every joint protesting, I crept toward the doorway on heavy feet, holding my breath to stay silent. Through the shadowed parlor, I spotted the sofa, empty. Where Frank was supposed to be. Figured he'd stepped out back for the privy. I pressed onto the kitchen and poured myself a glass from the cool earthen jug. That's when it hit me. A giggle, her giggle drifting from the yard. Light, teasing, full of youth. Nothing like it had any place in our home. My pulse hammered. Ice prickled my skin in that sticky warmth. I froze, glass shaking in my grip for what felt like forever. Then, soft as a shadow, I edged to the window overlooking the yard and eased the curtain aside for a glimpse. The moon hung fat and bright, casting silver over everything, and there was Frank, propped against the rear fence, deep in talk with a woman. Her features blurred in the glow, but she was young, draped in a pale summer frock. They stood too near, his palm lingering on her elbow, in a touch that twisted my gut like a knife. She murmured something lost to the night, then let out that laugh again, the one that yanked me from sleep. Frank's face lit up with a real, alive grin, the kind he hadn't given me in ages. He fished a little parcel from his pocket and passed it over. She unwrapped it, gasped in delight, and rose on tiptoe to brush a kiss near his lips. I recoiled from the glass, my whole world fracturing. All those nagging doubts I'd buried for months stared back at me, undeniable. Thirst vanished. Sickness surged instead. I lurched to the bedroom, shut the door without a creak, and sank onto the mattress. Tears came quiet, face smashed into the pillow to choke the sounds. The child inside shifted, as if sharing my hurt. I stroked my swell, whispering to us both, "It'll be okay." A hollow promise I couldn't swallow. Time blurred in sobs. Eventually, the front door sighed open and shut. Frank slipping in, sure I slumbered. Blind to the shards he'd left my heart in. I dried my face, drew a steadying breath, and resolved to face him at dawn. No more turning away. When he peeked in to confirm I slept, I played the part. He shuffled off to the parlor. I lay staring into darkness, piecing together months of dodges. The couch nights, the late returns, the vague outings. It clicked, sharp and brutal. Dawn's first light filtered in, and I rose with steel in my spine. Fixed breakfast like always roused Tony, buttoned his shirt. Kept it light for him. Kids pick up on storms. Once the neighbor swung by for the kindergarten run with her boy, I turned back to the kitchen. Frank sat over his mug and a ragged paper, acting oblivious. Who was she? Out back last night. I cut straight in, voice steadier than I felt. He stiffened, coffee midway to his mouth. Our gazes locked, guilt and panic swirled in his. What girl, Elaine? He stammered, dodging weak. I saw you, Frank. Middle of the night, handing her a gift. Heard that laugh. My tone cracked then. Eyes stinging, but I bit it back, refusing to crumble. He set the mug down, exhaled long. I braced for lies, but defeat slumped his frame. Debbie, he admitted. Secretary to Mr. Hudson, the head man at the plant. Debbie. The shadow now had a face. A fresh office type from those radio dramas I loved. But I was the fool in the story this time. How long? My throat tightened. A pause. Couple months. That why the couch? Sneaking out once I'm out. Silence screamed yes. I dropped into a seat, crushed under 7 years, one boy, one coming, tossed for her. What'd you give her? The rap haunted me. Another beat. Just a pin. Cheap. Lies. We scraped for rent, yet he spoiled her. I flashed on skimped meals, patched Tony's pants while he wasted our cash. Do you love her? The terror question. He glanced aside. I knew before his whisper. It just happened. Didn't mean to, but yeah, I feel for her. Each syllable sliced. Our vows echoed, faithful forever, dreams of home and kin. Now dust. What about the baby, Tony? Palm to my middle. I don't know. Didn't want you learning like this. How then? Keep fooling me, eternal. Hurt flared to fury. Quiet stretched, us like ghosts. He wasn't my Frank anymore. The charmer who lit my world. A stranger. You ending it? Last desperate thread. Hesitation. Don't know if I can. There it was. Know us. Know me. Her giggle, her bloom over my fade. I pushed up, knees wobbling, and walked out wordless. Nothing left to voice. His pick was clear, not family. Next week's blurred in ache and fog. He lingered, couch-bound, vanishing more. Pride sealed my lips, no whisper to mama, sisters. Shame burned, back then, the cheated wife wore the scarlet letter. I geared for ruin. If he bolted, I'd stand alone with them. Turned to Mrs. Jenkins. My wedding dress wizard. I'd always stitched well, but never dreamed work from it. Begged lessons, afternoons free while Tony learned. Kind widow, childless. Took me in. Smelled my edge, maybe. Patterns, hems, tricky cloths. She poured it out. I soaked it up, fingers flew like they'd waited lifetimes. Belly rounded. That tiny soul outfought my grief, urging steps. For Tony I painted smiles, daddy's swamped, sweetie, temporary. But he dimmed, senses keen. Celeste came in March 73, smoother labor, lonelier. Frank showed, but hollow, duty-bound. No glow like Tony's night. Quick hold, pretty girl, then back to me. Newborn haze hit hard, sleepless, sore, nursing solo. He drifted in late, out early, dodged weekends. Her wails, mine to soothe bone tired. Couch excuse shifted. Gotta sleep for the shift. Brutal stretch, but her tiny gaze forged iron in me. Fragile, needy. She banned my collapse. 2 little ones hung on my grit. Rocking her pre-dawn house hushed, I vowed no more charade. No kids in deceit's shadow, me drowning daily. We merited better. 3 months on, Frank rolled in late. Reeking that floral traitor, scent I knew cold. Waited till he crashed in the parlor, then carried sleeping Celeste out. We talk now, I said, even, unyielding. This ends. He blinked, jarred, we'd barely spoken. What? You're with Debbie still. Nod wary. No fight left. Pick, Frank. Us. Real, no hides, no fibs, or go. Strength shocked us. Old him might rage, this shell just breathed relief. She's pushing me to shack up. Sick of second place. Blunt as a slap. No more games. What do you want? Knew it, still asked. He eyed Celeste, regret flashing. Never meant pain for you kids. Too late. Dry-eyed. I drained the well. You'll keep cutting if you fake it here. Silence. He hunched over collused hands. Hating to my folks tomorrow. Kids too. Shock widened his eyes. You telling? Shame dripped. His name in town tongues. Truth, I said flat. Didn't last. You took another road. Back to bed, Celeste cradled close. For first time in moons, calm washed me. Done. Road foggy, fearsome but truth-bound. So, friends dear, as Celeste dozed pure, I shut my eyes, blind to tomorrow, sure that midnight titter rewrote my stars eternal. Next dawn broke early, eyes raw, spirit eased, like shedding chains. Packed ours in the dusty bed, box case, scant outfits, Celeste's cloths, Tony's lopsided bear. Frank fled workward, gaze averted. Doorstep pause, words unspoken, then gone, stooped like pity flickered. Then her trill, that sent, lonely vigils, sparked resolve. Neighbor time, I'll walk him today. Strapped Celeste in Grandpa's scrap wood cart, clasped Tony's palm, out we went. Where to, Mama? Sharp as ever. Grandma Emma. Grandpa Joe's, short stay. Daddy, lump Rose, how tell a 5-year-old of split worlds? He's home, busy with job. Nod, trust pure. Grip tighter. Shielding coming storms. Trek dragged endless. April blaze baked us, stroller jolting dust lanes. Ice trailed, town whisper fodder, mom with tots and bag. Mama hung wash when we crested. One look, suitcase, my wariness, kids, and she knew. Mothers do. What's wrong, girl? Scan from load to face to little ones. Can we bunk here a while? Me and them, the packed, earth kitchen floor. The rich aroma of coffee simmering on the iron stove. Nothing had changed. It wrapped around me like an old quilt. That evening, once the little ones drifted off, I poured it all out to Mama. The endless couch nights, that midnight giggle slicing the dark, Debbie's name like a burr in my throat. Tears streamed as I confessed I was done pretending, done watching my marriage dissolve. Mama listened without a word, mouth set firm. When I finished, she clasped my hands in her work-worn palms. Rough, yet softer than anything I knew. You did right, child. No woman swallows that kind of disrespect. Your daddy and I stand solid. This roof's yours always. Simple words, but they lifted a boulder from my chest. I dreaded scorn, the scarlet mark of a broken home. Back then, folks eyed a parted wife like she'd invited the ruin. Yet in that humble kitchen, lantern flickering low, Mama proved blood outshone gossip. The days blurred into settling. Daddy, spare with speech, only clap my shoulder. This'll always be home, girl. Mama rigged a cot for Tony in the nook, where I bunked with Celeste. Fashioned a cradle from a fruit crate lined with flannel. Word raced through Riverdale. Predictable in a place where fences leaned close. At the store, stairs pricked. Murmurs trailed. Elaine Thompson's back with her folks. Seems Frank traded up for some mill secretary. Each whisper stung fresh, but I squared my shoulders for my babies. Shame belonged to the promise breaker, not me. A week on, Frank showed at the gate, clean-shaven, Sunday shirt starched, clutching sweets for Tony. Daddy greeted him cool but waved him through. Grandkids tied the knot. We spoke out back, voices low. He fidgeted like a schoolboy, just checking on y'all. He offered, casual as rain. We're managing. I answered steady. Eyes to dirt, then mine. Elaine, I'm sorry it came to this. Silence was my reply. What pardon fit? I'll send money for the kids regular. I dipped my chin. Pride wouldn't starve them. They're yours too. Quiet hung thick, years of shared breath, now stiff courtesy. I'm with Debbie now. He muttered to his boots. Rented near the plant. No shock. Yet something inside snapped clean. The final board in our coffin. Be happy then, I heard myself say, and meant it. I wished him no curse. I wished me forward. He tossed a ball with Tony, then left. My boy's brow creased, puzzled why Daddy didn't herd us home. Kids bend, though. Soon Grandma's porch felt ordinary. Mrs. Jenkins became my North Star. Town talk reached her, and one morning she marched up the path. Ela, still keen on needles. Blunt as ever. Shops swamped. These fingers ain't 20. Need steady hands. Gratitude flooded me. She didn't need help, she handed me wings. Yes, Mom. Thank you. 3 mornings a week, Tony at lessons. Celeste in tow. Mama offered babysitting, Mrs. Jenkins waved it off. Babes don't hinder. Got a sunny corner for her box. Mornings drop Tony. Stroll to the shop with Celeste cooing. I learned more than stitches. Pricing, pleasing patrons, turning cloth to coin. She was tough but fair. Seams crooked, redo it. Finish flawless or don't finish. I drank it in. My fingers remembered what my heart forgot. How to build. Started with hems, tweaks buttons, soon communion frocks, groom vests. She taught measuring tapes to sing, patterns to breathe, city catalogs to life. Frank's child support trickled, spotty. Word filtered. He and Debbie dreamed fresh nurseries while skimping ours. I leaned harder on my earnings, Mama's quiet envelopes despite my fuss. Nights, I'd weep silent after lights out. Bone, weary future foggy, but dawn found me upright. A year in, Mrs. Jenkins cornered me over a pharmacist bride's gown. Ela, I'm winding down, eyes fade, hands tremble. I protested, her work still dazzled. Truth, girl. I've watched you, gift plus grit. That's rare. Heat rose in my cheeks, praise from her was gold. Shup'll be yours when I step aside. Shock stole my tongue. Main Street landmark. Dream factory for every bride in 3 counties. Mine, I'm not. Nobody is till they are. She cut in gentle. Didn't you pack 2 babes and walk? Same fire. She mapped transition solo clients' quotes, timelines. That night home, Celeste toddling, Tony chattering spelling words, hope flickered. Real, warm. Changes rolled quick. Mrs. Jenkins presented me my heir apparent. Some clients arched brows, abandoned Elaine. But satin spoke louder. One gown sealed it. Mayor's daughter, winter wedding, imported vision in lace and shine. Mine from sketch to stitch. Sleepless nights, pins, prayers. Final fitting bride spun, mirror tears. Mother sobbed joy. Mrs. Jenkins beamed from the corner. Prettiest ever. The girl breathed, arms round me. Mrs. Elaine, you're magic. First time the title rang proud, not pity. The wedding buzztown legend. Elaine's creation at Jenkins. My name shifted, from jilted to genius with thread. End of 75, savings scraped daddy's banknote. I leased a sliver storefront, smaller, scruffy mine. Mrs. Jenkins clapped, not threatened. Spread wings, child. We'll shared bolts and coffee. Brothers, neighbors. We slapped paint, mended panes, hung shelves.